Last name Rashid, Rasheed, and just leave your comments there. Also, you can go on YouTube because I get a lot of comments there. A lot of comments from, I'm overseas myself, but a lot of comments from India, the Middle East. It's really funny, but and I appreciate those comments. Got new fans in Bahrain now. We've still got that one person in Russia. I really appreciate the folks all over the world, and of course, our folks who listen in on KUHS in Colorado. But let's get to more music here, and I think we'll do now Frankie Half Pint Jackson and the Harlem Ham Fats. Wet it, let the good work go on. So let get serious. The song is Wet It, Let the Good Work Go On. Trying to be serious with this. So let's hear Frankie Half Pint Jackson and the Harlem Ham Fats with Wet It, Let the Good Work Go On the Root and Root Show.
Oh, don't get slack. Life to get something from you and I won't give it back. Farmer Jones had trouble with his crop. He couldn't get no rain, weather none, to make his stuff grow in the heat of the day. Farmer Jones had sang the not so 40 this way. Ask me of advice, here's what I had to say. You gotta wet it, you gotta wet it, dampen it so the stuff can grow. You better wet it, dampen it, farmer, you know. You gotta sprinkle it and dampen it and let the good work go on. If your tongue feels parched, your throat's gone dry, what's the first thing to the doctor that you run and cry? Oh, wet it, doc, wet it. Can't you wet it, please? Won't you sprinkle it and dampen it so I can go right along? Man. Meet my baby got high as a kite, tried to rock all over the floor at the dance last night. She ringed and twisted, too bad Jim. She started doing something, folks looked at him. Said, babe, what must I do? She said, take my advice. She said, you gotta, yeah, oh, wet that thing, Baba. Please, babe, go on dampen it, sprinkle it, oh, whip it, slap it. Sprinkle it and dampen it and let the good work go on. Man, if you get something good, dry and tight, I don't mean nothing that you had late last night. If you bip it and bop it and tell it's too bad, Jim, the next day you'll be minus of your vigor and vim. Take my advice, if you are short or slim, I said you better, yeah, well, go on and, yeah, gotta dampen it and sprinkle it and let the good work go on. Oh, you better, please, little bit, yeah, why don't you, yeah, right there. Gotta sprinkle it and dampen it and let the good work go on. The candy stand, he's got the stuff to be the candy man. Oh, the candy man, yes, the candy man. Oh, the candy man, yes, the candy man. Everybody's talking about the candy man. 'cause his stuff is sweet. Oh, the candy man. Yes, the candy man. Oh, the candy man. Yes, the candy man. Everybody's talking about the candy man. The candy man, he works hard every night, pulling his candy to make it nice and right. He pulls it slow, he pulls it fast, 'cause he knows his candy will not last. Oh, the candy man. Yes, the candy man. Oh, the candy man. Yes, the candy man. Everybody's talking about the candy man.
Oh, play that thing, boy. A gal named Betty Jones, while visiting out west, after a while in Utah, to take a little rest. He asked her name, old and gray, and to pass her way. You are my man, is that true? Then how many wives have you? I've got six better guys, and this is her reply. It must be hard. Yes, sir, it sure must be hard. You care for six any way you think. You got to know some real good tricks. It must be hard. Yes, indeed, it sure must be hard. The old man said, now stop that jive. Well, girl, I can really care for 25. The young lady said, as she shook her head, it sure must be hard, kind papa. It sure must be hard. Play it, boy. You play it like it's really hard. It must be hard. He said it sure must be hard. Every day when I go to dine, a hard-boiled egg is what I find. It must be hard. You bet it sure must be hard. I know my stuff. I've got to go. But when I leave, boy, they say I'm really cold. Too satisfied. Why she's I? It sure must be hard. No joking. That thing must be hard.
Yeah, ain't no joking. It must be hard. And that was Priscilla Stewart. And I apologize because that one was really yeah, I know some of you probably had a hard time hearing that one, but in many cases, some of you may not have wanted to hear it considering some of the lyrics. But anyway, that's Priscilla Stewart. It must be hard. And before that, we did Rosetta Howard in the Harlem Handfats, and that was Candyman. And Rosetta, she was known for doing raunchy songs. But after, she was in the late 30s and early 40s, then she switched up and ended up being in the choir of Thomas Dorsey in Chicago back in, up until the 70s. So she had to change. There's a lot of these folks who do blues. They eventually either came from gospel, go to blues, and come back to gospel. It always happens. Also in R&B, and because a lot of our singers, a lot of the ones, you know, in that era in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s, and it started, gospel music. Started in the church. You don't, there's still some around like that, but a lot of the popular artists now basically just come out of hip hop. They don't even get into the church and all that. But that's another subject for another day. But then again, that song was Rosetta Howard and the Harlem Handfats and Candyman. And we started to start off with Frankie Half Pint Jackson and the Harlem Handfats again and Wet It. Let the good work go on. And Frankie Half Pint Jackson was called Half Pint because he was 5'2". But he was something else, very popular back in the late 20s, 30s, and 40s. And he, he ended up working he was in the military during World War One and ended up working at the Pentagon. And the Harlem Handfats, who were on both songs I just played, they actually were a band that was not from Harlem. They were from Chicago. They played out of Chicago, but Harlem was a big name back then. When you said Harlem during that era, that meant black. So a lot of groups, a lot of folks named themselves Harlem, like the Harlem Globetrotters, originated in Chicago. They didn't originate in New York. But anyway, we're gonna get to more music here on the Root and Root Show. We're gonna do right now Anita Hanshaw and 6 Feet of Papa. So let's hear, you know what that's about. But anyway, let's hear that on the Root and Root Show.
I wasn't quick at arithmetic when I went to school. Adding and subtraction drove me to distraction. I never made the 7th grade. Still, I'm not a fool. 'Cause there's one little sum at which I'm not so dumb. Add 6 feet of papa, 5 feet of mama. You get 11, but I get heaven. 'Cause that 6 feet of papa belongs to me. Now, if you think I'm lying, try multiplying. 6 feet of blisters times 50 kisses. Every night we're rehearsing the answer you see. I've had sweeties 4 feet 4. Now I've got me 2 feet more. Does he thrill me through and through? Well, you can bet your boots he do. And 6 feet of papa, 5 feet of mama. You get 11, but I get heaven. 'Cause that 6 feet of papa belongs to me. Add 6 feet of papa, 5 feet of mama. You get 11, but I get heaven. 'Cause that 6 feet of papa belongs